over-the-air update making a so big change for the development system.
Endless number of interfaces.
Yeah.
What is your view on managing these interfaces?
We must select the necessary core information.
You know that we have different standards in different countries.
Yes.
Yeah. How do we tackle that? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Push to Future interview sessions. Today I'm at the European Mazda R&D Center, close to Frankfurt, in a fascinating environment, and I'm happy to talk to a very fascinating guest.
I'm Tomohiko Adachi from Mazda Motor Corporation. I'm also leading the model-based development, strategy establishment, and execution at Mazda. Industry need establishing the ecosystem, so through the model and data exchange. Everyone must understand the one up higher level, so bird's eye view of the whole of the system. This is also very important. Such kind of skill is required for the people.
My main goal is to create impact. I'm Jens Poggenburg, working at AVL as Executive Vice President for Software Products, Emission and Services. At prostep ivip Association, I'm a member of the board since 2022, and I'm responsible for the supplier membership. My daily challenges are simply to keep up with the speed of transformation which we see in these times, especially in our industry. Push to Future, Tomohiko-san, This is a very, very famous series of interviews, and I'm very proud.
Yeah, I'm also proud.
Today, we both have an interview.
Yeah.
And we have that interview at the R&D Center of Europe of Mazda.
Yes.
So thank you very much for you and Mazda
You're welcome.
that we are able to do it here.
Yeah.
Before we start with details, I would like to give some insights about our environment. We are in a world of multiple disruptions, especially also in our industry. We need to focus on the essentials. We need to anticipate the change.
Yeah.
We need to motivate through clear statements and strategies. And this is not only in our industry. And we need to use all possibilities to share best practices. So this is one area. In the automotive industry, as you know, maybe better than me, we have the trends connectivity, autonomous driving, carbon-reduced mobility, electrified vehicles, and so on and so forth. So if we have that bandwidth, and we consider that bandwidth, I think that prostep ivip Association, with their strategy and with our strategy, is a very strong contributor to all of these elements which are going on. And this is what we would like to talk about, because in the prostep ivip Association, we have the strategy. And the strategy has 5 pillars. I hope I remember well that it's 5 pillars. It's software in the product. It's going beyond automotive. It's the virtual homologation. Peoples and skills. It's future collaboration. And last but not least, it's about internationalization. Before we start with the details, Tomohiko-san, what do you think about that strategy?
The strategy, when we think about the software, the vehicle software is a much bigger than the automotive industries. The source code size level point of view, the 10 times bigger than each generation. So this means that, for example, one Mazda vehicle software code size is bigger than the Boeing 787 plus F-35 jet plane.
Then this probably does mean, Tomohiko-san, that in terms of certification, in terms of homologation, we need to do something different than in the past, I assume.
In the past, we're making actual vehicle testing for the certification, but almost impossible now for the historical strategy. We need to virtualize the homologation process is required. This is totally newly required. This is a totally different collaboration between OEM and the supplier is required.
So, Tomohiko-san, it's not only the technology you say, but you say the way how we work together, how the people work together in that process, in that development process is different than in the past.
The most different thing in the software era, the so-called software-defined vehicle era, historically, the vehicle value is the highest in just the timing of the customer purchase the vehicle.
Yeah, I see.
And the value is decrease.
Yeah.
When the OTA, over the air, updating, or the electrical hardware change afterwards. This means the increasing, we have the chance to increasing the value after the purchase of the vehicle.
I understand.
Until the life end.
Okay.
This is a completely different process, also required, and also the very difficult thing comes.
So software in a product on one hand, and virtual homologation, I understand two things. First is you say we need virtual homologation and the related development process to deal with the magnitude of tasks we have to do to solve in that in this area, correct?
Yeah.
And secondly, what I understand, and this is a very interesting aspect, I understand if we really do well with software in the product, then we may not even maintain the value of that product. But we may increase it over the life cycle, which is a new approach.
Yes.
So, and these are two pillars of the strategy of prostep ivip. So if I would like to add something to that is, you talked about collaboration.
Yes.
And we have also one pillar, which is people and skills. And people and skills will play a very important role in the collaboration, because with the people, without the people, it's not possible. This is correct? Or do you see it in the same way, or what is your view on it?
Yeah, that's the same way. So totally speaking, the people skill is completely different. So before the now current situation, the people skill is concentrated in one area, that is another area, so the separated one. But now the separated concentrated people is required. But in addition, the whole picture, so the architectural level size, such kind of architect, and see the bird eye view, whole the system, so they widely understand the total system, how to establish, how to promote this. Such kind of capability is required. This is a so-called systems engineering.
So that means beside the technological aspect, the way how to collaborate, how to share knowledge is extremely important. And in that context, we also need to consider data. So how to deal with data, data governance, but also what are the skills in data analytics. I see this also something which is a huge change to the past in all domains of development, model-based engineering, what our people need.
And I add something. So
Absolutely.
Model and data, how to share and exchange, not only in the company side, but also with the outside the company, and also the company level. So these collaboration, exchange, the data and the model is really required. But this makes a bit difficult situation comes. And historically, so the real experimental area, so the heroes or something like that, so the model come from the supplier and so the OEM between the model. But this is not sufficient. So that we must collaborate in just the beginning phase
I understand. So from the beginning on, we need to jointly agree on what is our future collaboration approach.
Yes, exactly. But in this case, everyone easily misunderstand the granularity of the model required due to the processes.
Yeah, I understand.
Yes, the planning phase, there is conceptual phase. Conceptual phase means that so there is no CAD data or something like concrete things.
I see.
This is a conceptual. This means so the very limited granularity or model is required. But once decide something, cascading each characteristics to the real things. This means from the requirement and the logical architecture and the physical architecture.
Yeah.
This cascading process is very important.
It's very fascinating to follow you, Tomohiko-san, and also to feel the passion you have in that process and the understanding you have in that process. What I would like to do now is to talk about some of the key trends in automotive industry.
Yeah.
And I would like to start with CASE. CASE is something which means it's connected, autonomous, smart, and electrified. And this has a lot of attributes in this. Some of the key hot topics I would like to have your opinion on is, first of all, it does mean that we need new business models and services, for example. Yeah. Secondly, if I think about it, it would also mean that the vehicles become a kind of a hub for Internet of Things. Yeah, this is the second thing I see. The third one is everything is connected and smart. And last but not least, another element of that is, of course, a hot topic, which I like very much for my gadgets, over-the-air updates. So these are 4 topics which very much influence the way how we need to develop, how we need to collaborate, and how we need to design our processes. How do you see that?
Yep. Okay. So the first one is the new business model. So this means, so in other words, so how to make a value creation, new value creation. This means with other outer system collaboration is really required. So this means, so one example, electric power system or the transportation system or finance or insurance system or collaboration of the outer system from the vehicle. So for that purpose, so what kind of information exchange, data exchange between the outer system and the vehicle. So at this moment, so the 5G is so everyone's saying a bit faster collaboration.
So it's a standard for mobile.
Yes. But for the new business model with vehicle, for the outer systems, insufficient is my understanding.
So that means we need to really not only to develop new vehicles, but we need to influence the infrastructure.
Connectivity with 5G. 5G is a kind of bottleneck.
Yes, I see. I understand that.
So this means so what kind of information is really required for the both vehicle and outer system? We must select the necessary core information is really specify.
I see.
Is important. If everyone can do what do we want,
it will not work.
Soon it doesn't work. The 5G is so narrow from the viewpoint of the future collaboration of the outer system, is my understanding.
This makes absolutely sense to me and also describes the challenges which are related to that. What is also, from my point of view, for me interesting is it's not the standard itself, but if we see and consider the vehicle as a thing in the Internet of Things, what does this mean from your point of view?
Internet of Things, yes. The vehicle generate vast of data generator, data generator. And not only the vehicle itself, but for the driver data also generated. Driver and the vehicle combinational data and surrounding data exist. This means that sensor and generator, data generator is my understanding.
I see.
So how to utilize? So we are OEM. So this is how to utilize these data is very important.
Yeah, absolutely.
And once, I don't hate the GAFA, but the GAFA want to get this data. How to protect and how to utilize ourselves is very important.
One additional view I would like to get from you in that context of case is over-the-air updates.
Yeah.
What does it mean for you?
Yeah. Over-the-air update making a so big change for the development system. So historically, when we change the software, this means that so we made a big mistake or a big bug, and so from the big concern from the customer. But the OTA realizing the update at any time we want. So this means we make we keep the development environment until the life end. And this causes a big issue when we want to change the supplier for the next derivative vehicle or so. This means one supplier's development environment and another development environment. We still keep these two types of environment. It is almost impossible for there are multiple suppliers we must use. So in this case, so long and different environment we still keep is almost impossible. But in this case, so the cloud-based service environment is really, really required. Now almost all development processes or apparatus development environment is on-premise. On-premise means that so our own IT system is now established. But the future and OTA is normally utilized, so our development environment is on the cloud. Service-oriented IT system is really, really required.
Tomohiko-san, understanding that complexity of the whole system, there are endless number of interfaces. And for example, ivip association wants to facilitate the collaboration. What is your view on managing these interfaces? What do we need to do? What can we contribute there?
Yes, this is a good question. So in Japan, so normally OEM want a detailed specific interface required. So this means that so no longer no meaning. So this means that so each supplier cannot afford such kind of specific separated interface. So my understanding is, so from the MVSE point of view, requirement phases, so what kind of requirement from the outer system, from the vehicle point of view, the semantic level interface is very important. And in the plant and the control system point of view, so in the plant case, the semantic interface is one example, the energy flow or something like that. And the control.
Sorry for interrupting you. That means semantic interface for you is an example. Is the energy flow you say? Is
yes,
right?
Energy flow is one example.
One example.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is no one can resist this type of information. This type of interface. Yes. And the control system case, what kind of information is required? Not a signal, but the information. Such kind of semantic level interface is very, very important. Once established, defined such kind of semantic interface, we cascading down to the finally, so the real signal line. So this type of cascading process is really, really required. If not, so normally, so every OEM really want to define specific signal line or so. But this no meaning.
And Tomohiko-san, we talk about international, global companies and products. You know that we have different standards in different countries.
Yes.
Yeah. How do we tackle that?
The first we must do data and the model exchange interface first we define, and we collaborate each other with data and the model, and then afterwards each regional specific regulatory things we challenge. That is my strategy to tackle this.
I think in addition to that, what I see is we need to actively motivate our companies, the local associations to really contribute to global standards.
Yes.
Because cybersecurity, for one example, per se, is nothing different in Japan than in US or in Europe. So if we are not successful in that, we just spend money, but we do not get the good results of the products.
Cybersecurity is in Japan also have a cybersecurity is required. Europe is required. The United States everywhere required. Why not the specific regulatory things? This is a boring things. We must focus on the unified. So the collaboration is required. Yes.
Tomohiko-san, Push to Future is the name of this series of interviews. So it's a good exercise to look into the future. If you think about 2033, what comes into your mind?
So, 2033, yes, 10 years later. So we must establish a kind of ecosystem. So the model and the data exchange. So Jambi side and the prostep ivip side. So both side party collaborate to each other. A complement is as I said to you. So this will be my future dream.
This is for you important in 10 years.
Very important.
So if I may add something to that, Tomohiko-san, since we are influential people, we can dream. So I dream in 10 years that we really create sustainable products. With our engineering expertise. This is one thing. What I also would like to see in 2033 is if we talk about security and safety of vehicles, this is realized and we know how to do it. This is technological aspects. Tomohiko-san, it was a real pleasure. I learned a lot of things.
Me too.
Stay healthy.
Yes.
And I wish you a good travel wherever you're traveling.
Okay. Thank you very much.
I enjoyed.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.